Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, August 4th, 2014. You know what? I'm going to energy my way through. I'm going to energy my fucking way through this podcast. It is Sunday night, if you need to know. Wait, I got to make sure my windows are closed, because I have a feeling I'm going to be screaming. Yep, close this fucker. Close this one over here. That's all good. We got it all airtight, my little podcast panic room. Here we go. All right, how unprofessional is that? And you can hear me walking across the room. And I think that's the appeal of this podcast. You know, the listeners feel like they're actually in the room with you. Shut up, you overanalyzing cunt. You don't host a podcast. You don't do anything creative, so you don't know what the listener is doing. In order for you to know what the listener's doing, you'd have to interview a whole fucking bunch of them to try to get a vibe. All right there? Podcast Weekly, or whatever fucking magazine you write for. I didn't ask for your review. There is no review. There is no podcast. This is just frustration. Because I got a bunch of shit I got to do tomorrow. What are you going to do tomorrow, Bill? Well, I'm going to have another meeting about the downstairs that I had that evidently was fucking built by whoever owned this house back in the 1950s. Oh, God, what a shit show. What a fucking shit show. Hey, buy a house.
Buy a house. It's a good investment. It's a, in life you have assets and you have liabilities. You get a house, that's a
Fucking bullshit. I don't want to hear it. You know what owning a house is like? Owning a house is like having a fucked up kid, okay? Who's just never going to get his shit together, okay? And the mom keeps taking his side. And you're like, no, he's a bum. He's a bum. He needs to get a fucking job. He needs to do something. But the mom just thinks it's cute. There's somebody knocking. Who's knocking? Am I being too loud? Is that some fucking squirrel that moved in downstairs to my fucking house? Oh, I swear to God. I don't even care anymore. I do care. If hey, what was that knocking, Nia? Was that you? Yes. Okay. Were you knocking at me because I was being too loud? No. Okay. All right. Anyways, where the fuck was I? What was I talking about? Squirrel moving in downstairs? You know what? Joke's on you, squirrel. Joke's on you. You were better off in that fucking tree. At least that tree wasn't all rotted out. These fucking assholes whoever built this shit, I hope if you're fucking still alive and you're listening to this, you're probably laughing. Because you remember when you built the shit, you didn't know what you were doing. I literally had wood, like in dirt. Like they built the wall into dirt. Okay? Now, I wasn't the greatest. I wasn't the smartest in shop class. But I knew that you didn't fucking put a wall into dirt. Oh, my God. I swear to God. If I could do this all over again. I would have been condo guy. No, but then I still would have had to fix it. Yeah, it's a fucking shit show. It really is. It's just an absolute shit show. And so I think it's the final meeting with these guys, where now we're finally just going to be like, well, this is the last wall. This is the last part of the downstairs that we've uncovered. So there can't possibly be anything more fucked up. So that's the only thing I feel, that's the only light at the end of the tunnel at this point, where it's just like there's nothing left that hasn't been pulled apart that can be fucked up. And now we start all over again. So those of you who've been following this fucking story about my house, you might remember last week that I had that little funny thing where they pulled away the plaster and there was dirt behind the wall held back by a giant plastic tarp. Okay? I mean, there's fucking, I swear to God, there are huts in the third world that are built better than the bottom of my fucking house was. Jesus Christ. Zero effort. All they did, they just fucking nailed shit together. And it stood like tree forts. Tree forts are built better than the fucking downstairs. Jesus fucking Christ. Then I found out they're like, yeah, the dirt's really wet. The dirt's really wet. Yeah, it's because the fucking water main, whenever the sprinkler comes on, I got a fucking lake out in my front yard, right up next to the foundation. No, that's always good. That's always a good place for a nice fucking, your own private pond every fucking morning. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. We need to replace that. Of course you do. Of course you do. Why don't we just knock the whole fucking thing down and we'll start over again? All right? And so I can somehow make money. Like half of this, I'll turn into a fucking Pizza Hut. All right? And I'll try to get some of that fat fuck money to maybe pay for the other half of the house, and then maybe I can buy out the guy who bought the fucking Pizza Hut. Whatever. You know what I mean? You don't know what I mean unless you've fucking been in this situation. If you have been, then my fucking heart goes out to you. Goes out to you. Whatever. All I know, the dream was that this fucking thing was going to be done right before football season. Okay? And I was going to go out and buy a new flat screen TV. Okay? I don't have many dates in the fall. I was actually going to be home. I can enjoy the NFL package as it happens. Right? That was the fucking dream. But, as I say that, there's political prisoners being tortured all around the fucking world. That's when you know your house is fucked up. When you have to think about somebody getting waterboarded to be like, wait, it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I was thinking about that today when I went out to go get some fucking dinner. Went to go out and pick up a couple of burgers. And, I'm sitting there, texting with the lovely Nia going like, do you want a vanilla chocolate chip cookie, ice cream sandwich, or do you want the salt and caramel with snickerdoodles? Okay, and I'm actually getting frustrated because she didn't write me back. And I know the burgers are coming. And then I'm calling her, and she's not picking up. Because she's watching, Orange is the New Black, basically Clam Oz, for those of you who want to get caught up. I can't watch that fucking show. I can't watch it. They feel like they talk too much and there's not enough just fucking people getting stabbed. I know they're women. I know they're more fucking advanced than us socially. But at the end of the day, it's a bunch of prisoners. They're in there for a reason. I want to see more stabbings and less talk. I watched like fucking probably 3 minutes collectively of Oz. And it was like, that's what I thought prison was. This is fucking horrific. And that show was even toned down. I couldn't watch it. So anyway, she wasn't picking up the phone, and I'm literally getting frustrated. And then I realized just the ridiculousness of the whole thing. So I just sort of sent her a text. I wrote all in caps, hey, get your face out of the computer. A decision needs to be made. Like it was really important which one I'm going to get her. So I went with the fucking classic vanilla and chocolate chip, sort of a metaphor for the two of us. Oh, Jesus, right? And then she calls back. The second you make the order, then your fucking girl's going to call. Actually, I wanted the truffle oil fucking with the fucking licorice in it. But fortunately, she heard the angst in my voice, and she just went with the classic. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, like how out of control is your food addiction when you order a salt and caramel, sugar salt, and throw a fucking candy bar in there too? That's like speedballing, if I can talk, speedballing with a little dessert. So anyways, that's my life. That's all I have to talk about. That's all I have to talk about is that. Other than that, this motorcycle somebody had loaned me. I told you guys, I decided to give it back. And the guy just sold it. And it's fucking killing me. I know I made the smart move. Riding a motorcycle in L.A. is, it's like riding a motorcycle in Los Angeles. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's just fucking, it's just too many goddamn people. Like if I was a dictator, right, and I was complete sociopath, just didn't give a shit about the fifth commandment, the amount of people that I would have eliminated in this city, just in general, so I could get around a little bit better And I could ride a motorcycle every once in a while. Well, fuck, I'm a dictator, right? I should tell, I should ride around when everybody else has curfew, when they're supposed to be home, But then I couldn't ride around. I'd be worried I'd be the only guy out there and everybody would know it's me. And then everyone would resent me. So then I'd get fucking whacked. See, this is why dictators have to kill so many fucking people. Because when you try to run the whole thing yourself, you just can't get past the level of resentment. So you have all this power and you can't go anywhere. So you got to kill a bunch of people. That's basically it. It's common sense. What are you going to do? Has there ever been a dictator that just backtracked and was just like, all right, listen, man, like, I know I killed a lot of people. I got a little carried away. I had a plan. And, it's not working. It's not working. So, I'd like you to forget about all those people that I killed. A lot of them probably friends and family. Admittedly, I got a little crazy for the last 12 years. But I just kind of want to ride a motorcycle. And I don't want you guys to shoot me. So, let me finish. So, I've decided that ice cream is legal again. And that, people can go outside whenever they want. Until like 2 a.m. How about that? Is that better? Is that better? Are you guys starving so much that you can't send an email at this point? Oh, that's right. I outlawed the internet. I forgot about that. Is anybody even listening to this? Anybody? Yeah, that's too much stress, being a dictator. I understand them, though. I understand it. You probably think that I'm fucking nuts. But you know what I say? You know what I say to you? Mister, I fucking drive to work and I drive home. Mrs., I go to the fucking gym and I got my own little fucking online fricassee business, whatever the fuck you do. All right? I want you to start traveling. Okay? And you go out there. You see what you see and then you fucking report back to me. And I want you to then, with a straight face, tell me that you don't understand dictators a little more. Come on. You're going to see what I see. You're going to go out there. And you're going to see, first of all, I don't know what the fuck you're going to see. You know what it is? You're going to become grumpy like me. That's what it really is. It has nothing to do with seeing shit. You're just sick of standing in lines. You're sick of that cunt in front of you, reclining in a seat on the fucking plane. You're sick of fucking people who engage in conversation with the cashier. Little fucking idle chit-chat. Well, yeah, I know. It really has been raining, hasn't it? Those fucking people. Okay, it's not. You keep it going. Keep the fucking line going, you cunt. Now that you're up there, you don't give it. Now you got all fucking day. 2 seconds ago, you were in line with me exchanging looks like, you fucking believe this? Yeah, and then you get up there and what do? You become part of the fucking problem. Right? You know what I say in my little fucking inner Stalin? I say, eliminated from my world. You're gone. You're done. You're going right to a fucking labor camp. Okay, you want to chit-chat? Go break some fucking rocks and talk to people. Ah, Jesus. And all this has to do with the fact that I just want to see the downstairs of my house again. You know how psyched I was to finally be out of an apartment and to have stairs that I walked down that didn't lead out to the street? It actually led to more rooms. Oh, my God. I swear to God. I swear to God. Never again. Never again. Who's kidding who? What am I going to do? Am I going to go back to an apartment, smelling other people's food and hearing their arguments? Listening to them fuck? Right? I don't want to do that either. That's it. I'm stuck with this place, so they're going to fix it right. Okay? I could have done a half-assed job, but you know what? I chose to fight back. I chose to fucking fix it the right way, and it is costing me a fortune. It's costing me a fortune, everybody. Oh my God. Well, you know, we could do this, and that'll last like 6 fucking years. Or we could do it the right way, and it'll cost $9 zillion. What do you want? What do you think I'm going to say? Do it the wrong way? It's not the construction people's fault, in case they're listening to this. I know it's the cunts who lived here before me, but it's just I'm just getting to that point. It's getting to that fucking point. I want it to start. I want the rebuild to start. I want to stop the tearing down and having to refix all the fucking shit so we can just build something on it. Oh, man, I swear to God. I swear to God, I need like 3 boxes of fucking tampons this week. Feels good, though. Feels good to get that out. So anyways, what's going on in your world? What am I? There's no fucking way I just ragged for 15 minutes on that. I think I did. Let's see. What happened to me last week? What happened to me this week? Anything of merit? You know what? I was sort of podcast boy this week. A couple days ago, I went on the podcast Professor Blastoff with Tig Notaro, Kyle Dunnigan, and David Huntsberger, and had a great time on that one. I don't know. I want to say that one comes out. No, I don't know when that one comes out. And then today I did Kevin Pollak's, which was fucking awesome because I've been watching that guy in movies for like 20 years. And he has this awesome podcast / talk show thing. It's videotaped, live to tape, whatever the fuck they did over there. It was a whole studio, you know? And I did that today. And that one is going to be out on Tuesday. And generally speaking, I got along very well with Kevin Pollak until the end when, after I left, he did the old, oh, we had a gift bag for you. God damn it, I forgot to give it to you. And that old trick. In other words, I know what he was saying. If you did a better job, we had a free T-shirt for you. So just to let you know the level that I performed on. You know, Kevin is old school show business, okay? You either bring it and you get the free T-shirt, or you don't, and then that's it. You just get a text message. I'm fucking with you, man. I had a great time, and I hope you guys watch it because it's a really, really cool one. And I think I found another person I can smoke a cigar with, which is awesome, and it's scaring the shit out of me considering Tony Gwynn, and now I'm seeing, you know, Jim Kelly also had some sort of mouth cancer or whatever the fuck it was. And I'm sitting there watching this tear-jerk story, and I'm halfway through it, and I start thinking that I smoke cigars, and I'm just like, I really got to lay off this fucking habit. And, you know, just space it out. I'll space it out a little bit more. You know, when you have a bad habit, what you do is you look for the Keith Richards of your habit, and if they're still alive, then you can lie to yourself that you're okay. Like Verzi always brings up Schwarzenegger. He's just like, dude, I heard that guy never doesn't have a cigar in his mouth. That's what he says. That's the level of the lie that we're telling each other, because that's how much we enjoy him. But whatever. I hadn't had one since Montreal, which was Saturday, so I went 8 days. So if I smoked one once every 8 days, that would be like what? 3 or 4 a month as the overlap, the change there, which would be 36 to 48 a year. Oh, Jesus. Fuck. What happened to me? Billy, you used to be such a good boy. What happened? You started hanging around the wrong people? That was my generic, just off the boat accent. How do you like that? See Kevin Pollak fuck with that one. Anyways, eVoice, everybody. Let's do a little advertising for this week to help pay for the downstairs. eVoice, everybody. If you take all your business calls yourself, it's really hard to look like a professional, isn't it? Or to get anything done. You're being a secretary and you're trying to drive the ship at the same time. Are there secretaries on boats? I don't think so, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, by helping you expertly manage all of your business calls, eVoice provides you with a better way to connect with your clients with a toll-free number, professional voice greeting, and a dial-by-name directory. eVoice transforms any phone into your business phone. When your customers call, they're automatically sent to wherever you are. You can be at home. You could be at the office. You could be sitting poolside with a cold beverage, if you know what I mean. You'll always sound like a Fortune 500 company with eVoice. And you get all of this for under $13 a month. For a limited time, my listeners can try eVoice for free for 60 days. Really? That's right, 60 days. But this extended trial will not last forever. You have to do it now. Go to evoice.com and enter the promo code BILL. B, Bravo, India. What is the phonetic? What is that one? I always forget L. Whatever. LL. Upon checkout to get to your special offer. Make sure you hurry because this offer will end soon. Go to evoice.com and enter the promo code Bravo, India, Lima. That's evoice.com, promo code BILL. Okay. The next one, the classic. Our old friends here. Doing the right thing. Dollar Shave Club, everybody. The big razor companies. You know what they think? They think we're stupid. Every year, they're rolling out some ridiculous new shaving technology gimmick, don't they? And they expect us to shell out big bucks for it. Do you really need a razor with a vibrating handle? Do you? Well, you're weird if you do. Do you really need that roller pivot ball? Back scratcher, egg timer, laser pointer, corkscrew, you get the point. Do you need it? I know I don't. We were shaving just fine before any of that shit. And I definitely don't need to spend any hard-earned money on it. I don't know about you guys. Anyways, if you're sick of being treated like an idiot, join the hundreds of thousands of smarter people who joined the DollarShave.com revolution. Dollar Shave Club delivers the best blades and grooming supplies for just a few bucks a month right to your front door. No more standing in line, no more paying all this extra money. And their blades are better than the big shaving companies for a fraction of the price. You can't lose on this one. My listeners can get started now at DollarShaveClub.com/Burr. And hey, if you're already a member, you got to check out Dr. Kavi. His post-shave lotion, which is unbelievably underrated, by the way. Okay? You sit there and you hack up your face. Even with the good blade, it's really rough on your little baby face there. Put a little lotion on. Treat yourself. It's the perfect way to make peace with your face after the disruptive act of shaving. Stop getting ripped off by these big shaving companies, people. Join DollarShaveClub.com/Burr. Bravo. Uniform. Romeo. That's DollarShaveClub.com/Burr. I don't even know if that's right as far as the phonetic. All right, let's get back to the podcast here. So, yeah, that's what I did this week. I did a couple of podcasts, and I just basically vacated my house while these guys were doing the thankless job of fixing the bottom of a house. I don't know how they do it. It's really amazing what they do. Actually, I still go down there. When I block out how much money I'm spending, I go down there and I look at what these guys are doing because I'm getting this thing done first class. Hence, financially, I'm taking it in the ash. But it's going to be great when it is done. And I know a lot of you. Why don't you take some before and after pictures, of it, of your house? And I say, yeah, well, why don't you let me hang out with your baby? You fucking weirdo. This isn't enough. I'm sitting here in my goddamn house talking to you. It's just never enough with some of you people. And I, for one, have had it. I'm taking it out on everybody. Okay? Whoever that cunt was that fucking put the wood in the dirt. Can I talk to your spirit? Because you're probably dead. If you were dumb enough to do something like that, there's no way you lived beyond the fucking Lyndon Johnson. What if that spirit is still in this house? Because they're an unsettled soul. Are they going to get mad at me right now? Well, you shouldn't be. You should be laughing at me. All right? Ghost of fucked up past. What if there's weird noises that only you guys can hear right now? I can't hear. Is that fucking, you think I did a bad job, Shane, huh? That was my 1950s guy. Sorry. Oh, fuck you. You wing a podcast every goddamn week. All right. What can we talk about next? Oh, hey, I actually, I played a bunch of drums this week. That's what I did. I got out of the house and I just went. It's such a great fucking hobby to have when you're hemorrhaging cash. It's great to be out there and be able to hit something. And I go through different phases. I either listen to some really new shit or I go back and I listen to some old shit. And I've been listening to a bunch of new shit recently. Like, I started listening to, like, top 40 music, just every once in a while. You stand on stage with the microphone, you kind of got to check in on what younger kids are listening to, even though I know it's not all of them. But, dude, there's a fucking song that I must have heard 50 times in a week listening to pop radio, top 40, because they played the same fucking 2 songs, it seems, even though it's top 40. Math doesn't work out, but you know what I'm saying. There's this fucking song. I finally, after like the 50th time of hearing it, you know that song, why you got to be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? I'm gonna marry you anyway. That stupid fucking song. Do you know for the longest time, I listened to that song, for the longest time, I mean the last week, I thought he was talking to the woman he was gonna marry. Going, why you being so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Obviously she's hurting his feelings. And he's gonna marry her anyways. I'm sitting there going, dude, what are you doing? Put the brakes on. This is not the move you want to be making. She's being rude to you, and you got to remind her that you're a fucking human being. I mean, it's kind of a red flag, right? I know Dr. Phil wouldn't stand for it, but then again, it's the guy being shit on, so he knows where his bread's butter. You need to be more human. That's what that fucking corrupt cop-looking jackass would say. I actually wouldn't fuck with that guy. I feel like that guy, he seems like he's really tall. And, like, he wouldn't have a problem with murdering somebody, you know? And he'd fucking lean on you like a heavyweight, too, and just wear you out. Feel him all up on you. You know he's got a hairy chest with that fucking bald head. Anyways, so it turns out that song, why you got to be so, that fucking, he's talking to the dude who's going to be his father-in-law. The whole song just fell apart for me. Why you got to be so rude? It's like, first of all, stupid. If your potential father-in-law doesn't think that you're good enough for his daughter, why don't you clean up your English a little bit? You said that to your potential father-in-law? Why you got to be so rude? And you go, I'm going to marry her anyway. You know what? The father-in-law's right. Fuck whoever sang that song. You don't deserve her. You know? Unless she's a dumb cunt. That's how I feel about that song, everybody. So, anyways, hey, Bill, it's top 40. Why are you taking it so seriously? What was another song I kept hearing? I kept hearing that song where that girl she was kind of over putting her hands in the air. Oh, really? Are you kind of over it? That's why you wrote a whole fucking song about it? Oh, Jesus. None of this has to do with anything other than the fucking crater that is below me right now. Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm going to contact Tom Hanks on Twitter and see if he'll come up over to my house, and I'm just going to stand downstairs, and I want him to look down my stairs and do that fucking laugh. That's my little make-a-wish, like when he did when he had the money pit. If he could just do that for me, maybe it would be better. Well, wouldn't that make me Shelley Long? Shelley! Dude, I met the chick of my dreams. Fucking name is Shelley. Could you fuck a girl named Shelley? Oh, Shelley. Shelley. Sounds like you're getting laid in the 1920s. Oh, Ethel. I know, this podcast is all over the fucking place. Oh, Ethel. That sounds like a Lifetime show. Oh, Ethel. You old bag of shit. All right, let's try to get this podcast back on track here. What was I going to talk about? I was going in a direction. Oh, yeah, so I played a bunch of drums this week, and I don't know, I did the usual shit. I like playing to some of the, like, whatever fucking rap, hip-hop, whatever the fuck you call it, that Nia listens to, always ends up filtering into my shit. So she's listening to this Lil Wayne stuff, and that shit's always fun to play drums to, because first of all, they do shit that, you know, you need an extra limb for. You know what I mean? Because they can keep I don't know, like the hi-hat going while they're doing fills and that type of stuff. So it's kind of, what the fuck song was I listening to? What was it? Blue sky, I see you with my red eye. Bust your fucking grape, turn your shit to red wine. Don't fuck up my high N-word, I'm too gone by N-word. She get dick, weed, and ignored. That's a DWI something. My head's crawling, my shit's fucking my... That fucking song. That song, when he gets into that part where he starts seeing shit, I don't know what it is. Like, that fucking makes me want to go work out or something. I really enjoy it, goddammit. So I was listening to that, and then also I went back and I was playing to... I went back to my old days. Memories. I went back to Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood. And I got to tell you, Tommy Lee, brutally underrated as a drummer. Just fucking brutally underrated as a drummer. He was respected in the 80s, and then somewhere in the 90s, you know what happened. The sex tape came out. He had his dick blowing the horn on a boat going, fucking rad, man. That kind of canceled out a lot of the great drum parts. If you're a drummer or if you're just a fan of music, just go back and listen to that song. All the shit that's going on in that song. And you know what's funny? I was trying to explain it to Nia today, and like, you know, she always just looks at me like it's adorable how much I like drums, and that, you know, women look at you when you talk about your hobby. They don't give a fuck. They like it that you have your little hobby, but you know, women don't. If you're not making money off of it, if at the end of all of it they don't get a pair of shoes, they don't give a shit. So she's looking at me like I'm adorable when I'm sitting there talking about how that, like, he does this thing, that part with, I got one thing you'll understand, Dr. Feelgood is not what the... He's playing the bell on the offbeat, and then he comes back playing it on the beat, right? As he's crashing, the cymbals and all that. It's one of the most fun songs I ever tried to fucking break down in a while to try and play. It's got all these different sections. Like, I'm a fucking nerd for this shit. This is how much of a fucking nerd I am. Like, I actually wrote it out. I'm going to look at my iPhone here. A section, then there's the B section to the C, back to B, back to C, then B, then D. Then B, then C, then B, then D again, then back to A, then D, then an E section. Where the fuck did that come from? And then D, and then they ride out in this F. It's fucking unreal. In the B section, they play 4 fucking times, and every other time they play 2 times. And they fucking did this shit while on heroin. Entertaining tens of thousands of people at the same fucking time. It's just one song. And I got to say something. Tommy, unbelievable fucking drums on that song. And really tasty... Just tasty shit that he did. You know, he's got... I don't know. You guys aren't drummers. What the fuck? I don't know why I'm talking about this shit. Whatever. It was my one little fucking ray of light this week. What do you want from me? So I sat down and tried to figure out that whole song. That's what I did this week to distract myself. Because, you know, the running joke in this house is whenever we hear the noise downstairs, is I always go, Nia, do you hear that? That's the sound of progress. I swear to God, I'm going to start crying. If this project doesn't turn the corner, I think I'm just going to get a knapsack, like a stick with the red handkerchief, and I'm going to make a couple of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I'm just going to walk away from this fucking thing. Ah, Christ. When is it going to turn around, you know? If the Cleveland Browns were a house... How many fucking losing seasons can we have? When are we going to pick the right quarterback? Whatever. The fuck. It is what it is. It has to be done. Oh, didn't I tell you that my sink upstairs shit the bed? And we had a plumber come over and look at it, and he's just like, yeah, you need a whole new sink. You know, I wanted to turn I wanted to turn into Anthony Michael Hall in that moment when he's in the Breakfast Club. You know, when he starts crying. When he goes, "Do you know why I'm here? Do you?" Like, I wanted to do that to that guy. I wanted to fucking cover my eyes like Anthony Michael Hall did and D. Brown did in the dunking contest. And I was just going to fucking cry and tell him that I'm here because I was told that a house was a good investment. And my entertainment would have been how fucking uncomfortable he was. But, of course, I pussied out and I didn't do it. I was just like, you can't just fucking just rip out what's underneath there and still. Well, I mean, I could do that. I mean, I could do that, but I'm just letting you know that, you know, there's no guarantee. All right, rip it out. Rip the whole fucking thing out. I know what's going to happen. I don't want him to go under there because I know when he goes into that wall, there's going to be something else. You know? Jesus Christ, there's probably a fucking body in there. I mean, that's the only thing, it's the only thing else I haven't found. You know, when they first fucking had the water damage down there, the goddamn tree fort of a walk-in closet they had, when they were pulling this shit out, there was all these rat turds and crap that God knows how long they've fucking been in there. So at some point, there was a family of something living in the walls here. What kind of fucking animals? And all they did was set up traps. I don't know. I just... shit show. Absolute shit show. Oh, God, I wish I knew how to drive a bulldozer. You know, I'd steal one and get bulldozer insurance, and then I'd fucking drive it through this house, and then I'd just play it off. Hey, what happened? I was in bed. Well, we found the stolen bulldozer right up the street. Anyway, fucking, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay? I got to be honest. This is the first time I've really lost my shit. Other than that, I've been fine. Okay? I kind of lost my shit. And speaking of losing their shit, or at least shitting the bed. Oh, no, wait. I was talking about the drumming thing because I had to go around to, I wanted to help a friend of the podcast here, Benny Greb. He's one of the greatest new drummers to come along that I've seen in a long time. He had an unbelievable, his last DVD, his instructional DVD was incredible. And right now he's trying to raise money because these things are not cheap to make. And, but he still wants to make one rather than just do these stupid little YouTube videos. He really wants to do it the right way. So he's trying to raise some money. If you like the musical arts, this guy is just top shelf artist, and his heart's in the right place. And I know he's going to make a killer DVD. So if you'd like to donate, if rather than donate to the podcast this week, if you'd like to donate to, I'll have the link up to Benny Greb's project that he's working on. I think he's like a little over halfway for the amount of money that he needs to raise. So whatever you can throw his way, $1, anything will help. And that would mean a lot to me. All right, give me a little ray of light with all the bullshit going on downstairs. All right, Benny Greb, BennyGreb. And we'll have the link of everything up on my the Twitter, whatever the fuck you say, the Twitter handle and my website. All right, there you go. So anyways, and I was saying, oh, yeah, speaking of shitting the bed, Boston Red Sox, oh, Jesus Christ, what happened? We're actually playing the Yankees tonight, and I missed it. But I kind of wish it meant something. But it's not bad. I mean, we won the World Series last year, and the year before that, we totally shit the bed. So I think this is the new Red Sox. You know, we win it, and then we go off the rails. Then we go, wait a minute, what are we doing? What are we doing? Guys, what are we doing? We're supposed to win. Yeah, win the games, and then we come back. So, from what I've heard, we've just been cutting bait. I think we've kind of just said it ain't happening this year. So, it's a weird thing. That's when my loyalty goes through the fucking roof. That's when I really start tuning in. Because I feel like it's just going to get back to like basics, and people who just give a fuck are going to go to the games. And they're going to pay attention as opposed to the whap, bap, bap, I love that dirty water. I only show up when they win. So anyways, I'm actually, as a baseball fan, I'm torn with the Yankees right now because as the Yankees, I want them to shit the bed, but I don't want Derek Jeter's career to end. I want it to keep going. As much as my whole time watching, couldn't wait for the guy to retire because he was killing us for all those years. Now he's actually going to retire, and it's making me sad. And I'd like to see him go into the playoffs. Lose, of course, but, get a couple extra Derek Jeter games. Is that so wrong? All right, what else? Oh, for those of you who haven't been on my website lately, or for those of you who've listened to this podcast a lot, once a year I go to a big college game with a couple of my buddies and the Pride of New Jersey, Paul Verzi. And last year we went to the Aggies versus Alabama, saw Johnny Football, which I'm really hoping he has a great career. First of all, I've told you this before. I think the Cleveland Browns have one of the best uniforms in all of professional sports. I just love the colors, the simplicity of the uniform. It's like everything that, the direction that uniforms are going in. As cool as the Oregon Ducks uniform is, they've kind of started like a fashion shit show in football where everybody's trying to have these disco uniforms. And I'm telling you, as cool as they look right now, in 10 years, they're going to look like... Have you guys seen that picture of The Rock early on in his career that's been going around where he's standing there with the flat top and the fanny pack with the shirt tucked into the fucking dad jeans, which we all look like back then in defense of him. I think a lot of these uniforms are going to look like that, whereas the Cleveland Browns is just timeless, original NFL uniform. And I love, despite the fact that they've had a rough go of it, they have not given in to that stupid, hey, let's get the fan base excited again and let's just totally fuck with the one great part of our tradition and mess with our uniforms. Did I ever tell you how much I hate the New England Patriots fucking uniform? I can't. I have this weird thing where the old one makes me sick to my stomach whenever they go back to it because those were such miserable years, so many of them. But I got to tell you, the old uniform with the black cleats, I don't know. I like that one better. I like the Jets were smart to go back to their other one, their original one, the Joe Willie one. And I like that Buffalo has gone back. They've gone back to the white helmet, right? I always forget after football season is over. But they still kind of kept the Buffalo with the remember when NHL had the little trail behind the puck for fuckheads who couldn't see, a black object against a white surface? They had to have that little trail. They had that. I like it when it was just, when OJ was playing, when it was just the Buffalo just standing there. I thought the Buffalo looked way better. You know what I mean? Looked like a pillar of strength standing there as opposed to that little cartoon thing. But they at least went back to the white helmet. That's a great one. Chicago Bears is a great one. Vikings, Green Bay Packers. There's a lot, especially in that NFC. I don't know what the fuck they call it now. NFC North, maybe? The Norris? The Central? Whatever the fuck they call it. I don't know. I think so many the helmets, they kind of got them right. The Raiders have kept theirs. Who's really fucked with theirs? Seattle really fucked with theirs, but I felt that they did that in a good way. I actually liked their new uniforms. There was a period between what they're doing now and the Jim Zorn helmet, which I liked the best. There was a different period in there when they went to those darker uniforms, and I just didn't like them. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I fucking hate that uniform. I like that old one. Just ride it out. Ride it out, and eventually you're going to get good, and then you have all that tradition behind it. You actually realize the 49ers were a fucking joke when I was growing up. They were fucking horrific, and they just couldn't get anything done. And then Joe Montana comes in, The entire, and Bill Walsh, the whole thing changed. Now you look at that same logo, and you look at it like, I see that uniform, and to me that means championship, means like success. There's another good one. The Giants went back to their old one. Like, I think football's doing it right for the most part. So I guess it's just college football. Is that what my problem is? Oh, I don't know. Let's take a caller. Whatever. So as I was mentioning, so we go to one big football game every year. And this year, it's lining up. I think we're going to go to Miami Hurricanes versus Florida State. And what's cool is the Dolphins play the Bills on that Thursday night. So the Friday night, we're going to play one of those improvs down there. And then the Saturday, we're going to the game. It's going to be the shit. Telling you right now, it's going to be the fucking shit. And that is my little beacon of light that I'm looking forward to. Other than continuing to try to fucking play to more Motley Crue stuff. Because, yeah, like I said, I think Tommy Lee's really underrated. So anyways, all right. So I've run my mouth long enough. Let's do a little fucking advertising. I'll get into the questions for this week. All right. Where are we? What the hell is this? Not the questions. I got to do the, what was I saying? I was going to do the advertising. That's right. Can you tell I'm thinking of 20 different things right now? All right. Prosper, everybody. In 72 hours, you know what? You could have $35,000 to cover your needs. What will you do? Pay off a high-rate credit card debt? Start a business. Do that home improvement project. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's what I would do. I might have to use this with the nightmare going on downstairs. With our sponsor, Prosper, it's never been easier to do something like I just mentioned. You can go online, answer a couple of questions, and see your low fixed rate in seconds. Fixed rate, everybody, not that crazy variable stuff that could really bite you in the ass. Your money hits your account in as few as 3 days. Prosper's the fastest growing peer-to-peer lender, and they facilitated over $1 billion in loans to people like you. Their revolutionary platform connects people looking to borrow money with those who have money to invest. There's no outrageous fees, no raising interest rates, and you'll never set foot into a bank. Just go to prosper.com/Burr, B-U-R-R, to check out your rate instantly without affecting your credit score. For a limited time, Prosper is offering my listeners a $50 Visa prepaid card when you get your loan. Go to prosper.com/Burr. Up to $35,000 in just 3 days and a $50 gift card. Go to prosper.com/Burr, B-U-R-R. And lastly but not leastly, LegalZoom, everyone. Most Americans don't have a will. But why? You don't want the court dictating what happens to your property and your minor children, do you? Of course you don't. So why procrastinate? Most people say, well, it's too expensive or it's too time-consuming. Well, I got an answer for you, everyone. LegalZoom.com. Too expensive? LegalZoom's prices, they just make sense. Too time-consuming? It just takes 20 minutes. And LegalZoom guides you through from start to finish. The service was developed by some of the best legal minds in the country, and they make it painless for you to get the legal help you need. In fact, helping people get legally protected has been their mission and passion for over 13 years. During the National Make-A-Will Month, get special pricing on wills and living trusts by entering Burr, B-U-R-R, in the referral box at checkout. Again, that discount code is Burr, B-U-R-R. It's National Make-A-Will Month, so don't wait. Protect your family, protect your future at LegalZoom.com today. LegalZoom was developed by top attorneys to provide self-help services at your specific direction, but they are not a law firm. Legal help is furnished through vetted independent attorneys. LegalZoom.com, once again, discount code Burr, B-U-R-R. All right, and that is the advertising for this week, okay? All right, let's get into the questions. Oh, by the way, I got a couple things to hype here. Nick Youssef. Phenomenal up-and-coming comic, up-and-coming to me. He's a vet at this point. He knows what he's doing. You give him a mic. He knows which way to stand. He knows how to tell them jokes. Seriously, this guy's, I play down the Comedy Store a lot, and this is one of the guys that every time I see him, he's better. He's got his own voice, and he is releasing his first stand-up album Tuesday, And I'm going to tweet the link when it comes out. And if you're into stand-up comedy the way I am, you will download this and you will laugh your ass off. And you'll be like, God damn it, fuck Bill Burr. I'm going to go see Nick Youssef. All right, that's Tuesday. All right, and also, speaking of Tuesday night, All Things Comedy Network, myself and Al Madrigal will be hosting the second live podcast show on Sunset Boulevard at Nerd Melt on Tuesday night. We will also tweet that link as well. And that's it. And I guess the only thing I have to say is my condolences to Stephen A. Smith. You know, I don't know. The guy said you shouldn't hit a woman. He said that. And then he was trying to get 360 degrees dialogue going with this awful problem. And he got railroaded by a bunch of fucking psychos who, you know, unless you just say exactly what they want you to say, the way they want you to say it, they get you suspended. And shame on those fucking cowards that employ him. They suspended him, and these fucking psychos, suspend him long enough. Unfucking believable. The guy literally says you shouldn't hit a woman. Isn't that your message? You know? God forbid he tries to open up more of a dialogue. Okay, you don't agree with them. Fine. You got to suspend the guy? I don't understand this whole fucking thing now where everybody gets suspended or they get fired. Like, does that change the person's opinion? You know? Does it help the problem? Let's just say you actually say something ignorant. People should be allowed to be ignorant. Not hateful, but you should be allowed to be ignorant. And then you should, as an adult, be able to come to them and just say, hey, listen, our perspective is this. It kind of seemed like you were saying this when you said X, Y, and Z. Is that what you're saying? Because that's how we interpret it. And then he could be like an adult. No, I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry you meant it. It sounded that way. What I was saying was this. And you could be fucking adults rather than this fucking McCarthyism like witch hunt now that goes on every time anybody says something other than the exact line of bullshit that some stupid fucking group wants you to say. It's not a stupid fucking group, but you're acting like a bunch of children. I mean, this guy's got I don't understand it. He said you should never hit a woman. And you completely ignore that part. What about this part over here? What about your ass? All right. I want to be your roadie. What's going on here with my computer? Why did you just stop it? No more fucking pop-ups. I command thee. All right, Bill, I want to be your roadie. Hello, Bill. I'm a very loving and kind Englishman who wants to be your roadie. Oh, Jesus. Now I want to do this as you are a stand-up comic and only use a mic, and this works for me because I'm a lazy cunt who won't even carry my own drums, let alone anyone else's shit, but I think I can push myself to hand you a mic. Don't ask me to book hotels, as you will find yourself sleeping in your rental car. Don't ask me to get you food, as I'll go and get it, but we'll probably eat it. And don't ask me to do any phone calls. I like this guy. He's being upfront. Or mail, as it just won't happen. You won't even use periods, you fucking asshole, or capital letters. He says, I've been told I'm a bit of a lazy bastard, and this is true, as you can probably tell from the lack of grammar and spell check in this email. I think 25% of the takings per show is a fair wage. Email me back and let me know when I start. Actually, don't bother, as I probably won't show. Yeah, just forget the job. I got to play. All right. Oh, I got to play Xbox. Sorry. I thought that said XOX. I got to play Xbox. All right, sir. Well, you know something? I got to respect your honesty. Yeah, well, you know, if ever, you know, whenever Xbox ends, if the next time you email, you actually use periods and capital letters to start a sentence to help me out, I see that you're actually beginning to take this job that you're not going to get seriously. And that's what I need to see from you if you want to make it to the second round. It's like a reality show. Who wants to be a roadie on a tour where that job doesn't exist? All right, heist. Dear Billy Big Shot, if you were to pull off a heist with famous actors, who would it be? You've trashed Clint Eastwood for trashing this generation as being soft while he only played a hard guy on film. Assuming you or Lee Marvin are the captains of the squad and you put together, pick 4 guys. All right, well, Lee Marvin's definitely in it. That guy was a war vet who has a Purple Heart and actually was one of the few guys that survived from his platoon. Definitely him. Charles Bronson grew up working in mines in Poland. He actually had abs in the 1960s. You realize how hard that was? Like, nobody even knew how to do that. There was no, like, fucking, cut out your carbs. There was none of that shit. He just had them because he lived a life. If you had abs back in the day, you had them because you either fucking worked in a mine, or for the circus on a trapeze or some shit. So those would definitely be 2. At this point, with those 2 being in it, I gotta kick myself out of the group. What am I, the mascot? I'm like the Radar O'Reilly. Pick 4 guys. All right, so I went 2 old school guys. I'd have to do 2. Who are 2 new people? It's that weird thing where you got to be tough, and I also think that you would rob somebody. Oh, fuck. I don't know. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is... Clint Eastwood might have been right. I don't care if you are tough. If you get your hair highlighted, I don't know if I would want to try to commit a crime with you. Oh, I know. Who was that guy in Heat? Sizemore. He's a bit of a wild card, but you got to have one of those guys. Plus, he doesn't seem like he'd rat you out, so I'd have that guy in there. And then I'd be there. I'd be the guy in front of the bank driving the getaway car, and I'd probably take off like Bobby in fucking Saturday Night Fever. Where were you guys? I was looking for you. I think it's more interesting to say what I would try to pull off. Yeah, you really wouldn't want to know what I'd pull off. I'd probably get in trouble if I said it. Let's just say, no, I'm not going to say what I would do. But it would definitely involve a rifle with a scope and a silencer. And maybe a gated community? Yeah. I wouldn't do something like that. If you could find out. You know what? I wouldn't. I couldn't kill somebody. I could take a paint gun. I would like to shoot at some people that work for, like, the heads of corporations. Like, take, like, GM, where they knew they had a faulty ignition switch and they just, like, let 8 people die. And rather than getting put on trial for being fucking murderers, they're just going to buy their way out of it. It'd be fun. If you just knew who they were, because none of them are guilty, because the corporation made the decision. If you could just shoot one of them in the neck with a paintball from across the street, you just hear that sound. When it fucking hits them, yeah. Watch the guy crumple. Maybe something like that. What can I say? I'm a punk. I'm not a tough guy. I'm a punk. I'm going to shoot a fucking banker from across the street with a paint gun. Do you even go to jail for that? I think they give you a timeout. All right. Next question is Fat Little Brother. Oh, God. Ill Bill. I'm about to transfer to a university a few hundred miles away from home, but something has been weighing on my mind, and I'd like to see if you have any advice. My younger brother is getting pretty fucking fat. He's only 11, and while my mom obviously pumps out big kids, I was born at 13 pounds. Holy shit, how big is your mother's pussy? Sorry. He at 11. I was a 10-pounder. I was a fucking little baby tuna myself, so I shouldn't say stuff like that. And both of us have always been at least a head taller than our peers. Oh, you guys are these corn-fed kids. Nebraska, Iowa. Offensive line white guys? That's what I'm guessing. And both of us have always been at least a head taller than our peers. Since he was about 9, he started shoving every piece of fatty or sweet food into his mouth and taking it to a new limit. He's 10 years younger. Well, shit, you know, you were 13 pounds. Of course your mother needed a break. He was 10 years younger and at least 6 inches shorter. Dude, a woman giving birth to a 13-pound kid, the reason why they took she took a 10-year break, that was like when the Rangers signed A-Rod to a $250 million contract. It took him 10 years to fucking recover from that. Does that make any sense? You know? I don't know. Anyways, he's 10 years younger and at least 6 inches shorter than me, but is nearly the same waist size, 34. Oh, my God, he's got a 34-inch waist? How tall is he? Because I was a big kid, too. I know how shitty it is to be overweight, especially at that age. The fat jokes are relatively easy to take, but it sucks knowing that girls just won't be into you the way you are. I want him to go. I don't want him to go through that, and I especially don't want him to run into any health problems associated with obesity. Yeah, I mean, this kid could get like that childhood diabetes. The worst thing is, my parents don't do anything about it and get mad at me when I try to talk to him or them, to try and work on it. It seems like that no matter how gently I put it, they think that I'm just making fun of him or being kind of new age diet freak or something. Well, I'm going to guess that your parents are probably not in the best shape either. Or they're just those parents that just love their kids so much to a fault that actually sometimes they might be hurting them, where they need a little bit of tough love. He said, I also get the feeling that they are ashamed of how fat they have allowed him to get and just try to avoid the negative feelings that they have when confronted with it. Okay, now I'm thinking they're in shape. He goes, I'm at a loss at what to do, and I don't want to come home from school to a miserable, sickly fatso of a little brother. If you have any thoughts on how I can approach this, I would really appreciate it. Thanks, and go fuck yourself. First of all, you're a great older brother. You sound like a very caring individual, and you're trying to please everybody. So there's two ways to do this. You can go Scarface, put on a tuxedo and get a little drunk and just say everything you have to say and then walk out. Say goodnight to the bad guy. The last time you're going to see a bad guy in this good a shape. You could go out like that, or you could, I think this is a two-pronged attack here. What you have to do is you have to sit down with your parents first. And considering you've tried talking to them face-to-face and that hasn't worked, for some reason, a letter seems to work. If you sit down and you write a letter, I might give it to your mother first. Because, divide and conquer. Women are much more emotionally advanced than guys are. So I would try to get her on your side first. And just say that, just basically say what you said to me, a little less harsh without the F words. I know that you were trying to make it probably funny for the podcast, which I appreciate. But that's what I would do. And then, not to get all fucking serious here, but your younger brother is on the road to have a very short life. If he's going to do what he's doing, okay? And unfortunately, I have firsthand experience in that, and it sneaks up on you. Next thing you know, you're in your 40s, and you fucking a lot of stuff. Chickens come home to roost, so to speak. So I don't know. That's a tough thing, man. How do you talk to a fucking 11-year-old about that? I don't know. This is actually beyond me, because what he literally has is he has an addiction to food. Like he has to get off the smack. He's got to start eating salads, and he's got to break that sugar salt. It's like you're speedballing. Your sugar goes through the roof, then you do the salt that goes through the roof, and you're just going pizza, candy, whatever. Insert different food, but that's what you're doing. You're literally addicted to it. Like I had a sweet tooth most of my whole life. I don't have it anymore because I started doing that, eating veggie twice a week, and that totally just cut out my sugar salt cravings, and it gave me a new feeling after I was done eating of being energized rather than being like, oh man, that was awesome, but I need to fucking lean to one side here. Like the other night I had this fucking steak dinner, man. It was fucking great. And you know it was bad for me because my voice just dropped down like a pirate. Let me tell you, I had this steak with the potatoes and the fucking cream of spinach. It was delicious. It was fucking delicious. And, but I actually only got a 6-ounce steak. I know. Insert what he will, fucking pussy. It was, I got their best steak. So it was super expensive. So my wife's like, well, why don't we both get 6 ounces each? And I'm thinking, well, I want 8. And when the 6 came, I was pissed because it was so fucking small. So I actually was eating smaller bites, and I got full, and I was totally satisfied. So I wasn't as full. I don't know. It's like eating is something you really, the older you get, too, is you really have to fucking think about it. Like, there's no reason when you get older that you have to become a fat fuck. It's just that your metabolism has changed, and you're not changing the way you're eating. You're still eating like you're in college when you just ate like shit and you still woke up and you were fine. Now, if you're already out of shape at that age, that's a major red flag, but it's easily corrected. So if you're young and you listen to this and you're out of shape, you're young. And if you just start eating right, just read up on nutrition. I know so little about nutrition. And just me, the little that I know, I don't have to work out as much now. So, I don't know. I would go that route. I would write a letter, and I'd give it to your mom first. Try to maybe divide and conquer. I don't know the relationship you have. Maybe your dad's the softie. I have no idea. But I would try to divide and conquer them. And then your parents could just subtly, stop buying that shit food. Not have it in the house. They could start making healthier meals. And, and when you come back from school, I don't know, man. Just go fucking do some shit where the kid's going to have to be active. 11's a tough age to try to have a serious conversation about stuff like that. If you were going to do it, I would do it talking about yourself. And the experience that you had or something. That's the best I can do. Good luck with that, man. But you're a good person, man. You're a good older brother. I hope it works out for you. All right. Dilemma. Dear Slick Bill Flair. Woo! He wrote the woo. Love the podcast and hearing you solve problems. That should be in quotes. I have a dilemma that you and maybe the lovely Nia could help me with. My wife and I have been happily married. Oh, maybe I should get her in here. Hey, Nia! Nia! Sometimes I know she hears me. And I know what that means now. That means I'm watching my show that you always make fun of. She probably watched one of those fucking Real Housewives shows, which I actually got into one of them. She just kept, like a pop song, she just kept playing it and playing it. The Real Housewives in New Jersey, I'm actually watching that shit now. But I can't watch the other one. That one that's out here, the Orange County one. Those fucking women, they just look so exhausted all the fucking time. And it's because they're trying to look hot. It's like, what's wrong with you? You're a mom. Okay? You did your time. Relax. Put on some sweatpants. Okay. Dear Slick Bill Flair, woo. My wife and I have been happily married a little over 10 years. When we got married, I was working a low-paying, going-nowhere job, but I saved my money for months and bought her an engagement ring. It wasn't much and was all I could afford, but she accepted it very graciously and it has come to mean a lot to her. I'm doing much better in my life. Look at you. Good for you. Doing much better in my life now financially than I was then and can afford to buy her something much nicer. My dilemma is this. Should I tell her what I paid for the first ring and tell her I want to get her something nice, something a lot nicer now that I can afford, or just leave it alone since she does appreciate it? And by the way, I have bought her other jewelry in the last 10 years, but just not another wedding ring. Dude, fucking leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Okay? If that ring means something to her, I think it's kind of a nice sentimental reminder of how far you guys have come and how successful you are. And I think that she's a great person, that she's not going like, oh, my God, my ring isn't as big as this other bitch at work's ring. You got a great one. And I know you're feeling, because it's also like you're probably going like, I don't know, you're probably hanging out, if you're doing really well financially, you're probably hanging out with other people doing well financially, and their wives show up with a giant rock on their finger, and you're getting insecure about it. If she's not insecure about it, then I would leave it alone. If you're buying her other nice things, I actually think it makes the ring even more special. She has like whatever, beautiful earrings or whatever you bought her, a necklace or something like that, and then she has that ring that you got her. I think that's actually cool. And she can tell the story. She probably likes telling the story. You got a great relationship, sir. Congratulations. Don't fuck with it. Don't fuck with it. All right? Use my downstairs as a metaphor. Don't start pulling down the walls. You have no idea what's behind them. You don't even want to know. Is it holding up the structure? Leave it alone. Okay? All right. Overrated, underrated. Overrated. Being a sports fan. My two favorite teams are the Colorado Rockies and the Tennessee Titans. Could I be any less relevant in the sports world? 10 months out of the year I spend in crushing disappointment, fantasizing about what it's like following a team that actually won a championship. You lucky cunt. Well, dude, I don't understand. How are you a Denver fan of just the baseball? You know, look, in the last 15 years, 16, 17 years, you won 2 Super Bowls, 2 Stanley Cups. Nuggets haven't won shit. Rockies haven't won shit, but they're new. Well, you basically got a baseball team in the last 20 years. You're doing fine. Tennessee Titans. I don't know. I'd have to understand why you went that route. I respect it, though. Most people who don't root for the teams that are in their state usually pick, a successful one. I'm a big Yankee fan, or I always like the, who else fucking always wins shit? I don't know. I like the, whatever. I like the Patriots. We haven't won shit in 10 years. What am I talking about? All right. Underrated. Having a 500-plus CD collection. My friends give me shit for paying for my music. Oh, God bless you. For every artist out there who's actually putting out shit that costs money, the fact that you're actually paying for it, God bless you. But as you said before, it's like having the gold behind your money. Oh, yeah, having your CD. Yeah, because you can lose your entire music collection if something happens to your laptop and all of that crap, right? And just the fact that you need these fucking devices to play them on that are constantly, becoming outdated, and then they get filled up. Like your stereo never got filled up. But the other side is you can listen to it anywhere you go. So I don't know. But I like what you're saying. Anyways, he says, my laptop shit the bed recently, and it was nice knowing that I didn't have to go through virusy fucking websites online to get all 4,000 songs back. Oh, that's great. I'll tell you, you know what? I'll throw in an underrated. Amazon.com's, I started downloading music from them because I was sick of iTunes not having as good a selection. And what I was trying to find, I saw this great documentary on Muscle Shoals, and they were talking about Aretha Franklin. And I wanted to get, what the fuck's the name of the album? I wanted to get, the album in, hang on a second. Let me find the name of it. I wanted to get one of her early albums. I wanted to hear the whole album, which was really exciting to me. I guess it was called I Never Loved a Man the Way That I Loved You. And I wanted to hear all these songs because, after a while, when you have as many hits as she does, they just play the hits. And after a while, they start phasing out the albums. And it's like, there's actually more Aretha Franklin music that I haven't heard. I want to hear this shit. So I go on iTunes, and of course, all they have is Greatest Hits Volume 1, 2, and all this type of shit. Who's Zooming Who, or whatever the fuck they had on there. But I was actually able to download that whole album, and I got to hear the Muscle Shoals, their legendary band that played with them. I saw the documentary, and I really listened to their playing, and their drummer's fucking incredible. His name escapes me. So I would say that that's underrated. Oh, and by the way, too, you know who was underrated in my world? Was Kenny Wayne Shepherd. I was like a lot of Stevie Ray Vaughan fans where when he died, it was just such a blow that any blues guitarist that came along that was influenced by him, I would listen to for 3 seconds and be like, he's just doing the Stevie thing. He's not Stevie. And long story short, they came to town. He came to town playing the Greek Theater, and Chris Layton from Double Trouble was on drums. I'm like, I got to see this fucking show. So I went up there, and I saw them play, and they were fucking unbelievable. He's an unbelievable guitarist. He's fucking amazing, totally underrated. And like most great artists, he's bad at promoting. Like, I wanted to give him a shout-out. He's not on Twitter, you know? If he stunk, he'd be on Twitter, but he isn't. And he's got a keyboard player that he's out with, too, this guy, Riley Osborne, who I'd never heard of, who, of course, has played on a zillion things. They did a slow blues thing or something, and that guy just started playing. It's funny. He looks like Burt Young, and he doesn't really smile a lot, and the guy was just a beast, just the real deal. You were watching the real deal. The entire band was phenomenal, and, to actually go out and see live music now is, I don't know, I did that a couple of times this week. I saw a couple of live bands in the Viper Room. I just kind of did that this week to get my mind off the bullshit downstairs. But if the Kenny Wayne Shepherd Band is coming your way, if you like, I don't know, blues guitar and that type. I mean, these guys, I don't know who's out there doing it. I know there's always somebody's going to say, well, the fuck's that kid's name there? The slide guitarist, Trucks. I'm forgetting. Derek Trucks, is that his name? I'm not in that world. I don't know what the fuck. I know he's unbelievable. I've seen some of his stuff. But whatever. Just a top-notch band. Definitely go out and check them out if you get a chance. So anyways, that's the podcast for this week. I appreciate you guys letting me vent if you listen to all of it. That made me feel a lot better. And now I can fucking go my little construction meeting, have a smile on my face. I know it's not their fault. They're just righting all the fucking wrongs from fucking Charlie Chaplin's cousin who built the downstairs of my fucking house. And that is it. That is all. Speaking of Amazon, if you'd like to donate to this podcast, you can go to billburr.com and click on the link to Amazon, and it takes you right there. If you want to buy something over there, they give me a little kickback. But this week, you really don't have to do that. If you could hook up Benny Greb, help him get his instructional DVD, his drumming DVD off the ground. He's more than halfway there. I would really appreciate it if you could do that. If not, I understand. It's always tough times out there, right? That's the podcast for this week. Go fuck yourselves. Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, August 4th, 2014. You know what? I'm going to energy my way through. I'm going to energy my fucking way through this podcast. It is Sunday night, if you need to know. Wait, I got to make sure my windows are closed because I have a feeling I'm going to be screaming. Yep, close this fucker. Close this one over here. That's all good. We got it all airtight. My little podcast panic room. Here we go. All right. How unprofessional is that? And you can hear me walking across the room. And I think that's the appeal of this podcast. The listeners feel like they're actually in the room with you. Shut up, you overanalyzing cunt. You don't host a podcast. You don't do anything creative, so you don't know what the listener is doing. In order for you to know what the listener's doing, you'd have to interview a whole fucking bunch of them to try to get a vibe. All right there? Podcast Weekly, or whatever fucking magazine you write for. I didn't ask for your review. There is no review. There is no podcast. This is just frustration. Because I got a bunch of shit I got to do tomorrow. What are you going to do tomorrow, Bill? Well, I'm going to have another meeting about the downstairs that I had that evidently was fucking built by whoever owned this house back in the 1950s. Oh, God, what a shit show. What a fucking shit show. Hey, buy a house.
Buy a house. It's a good investment. It's a in life you have assets and you have liabilities. You get a house. That's a
Fucking bullshit. I don't want to hear it. You know what owning a house is like? Owning a house is like having a fucked up kid, okay? Who's just never going to get his shit together, okay? And the mom keeps taking his side. And you're like, no, he's a bum. He's a bum. He needs to get a fucking job. He needs to do something. But the mom just thinks it's cute. There's somebody knocking. Who's knocking? Am I being too loud? Is that some fucking squirrel that moved in downstairs to my fucking house? Oh, I swear to God. I don't even care anymore. I do care. If hey, what was that knocking, Nia? Was that you? Yes. Okay. Were you knocking at me because I was being too loud? No. Okay. All right. Anyways, where the fuck was I? What was I talking about? Squirrel moving in downstairs? You know what? Joke's on you, squirrel. Joke's on you. You were better off in that fucking tree. At least that tree wasn't all rotted out. These fucking assholes have, whoever built this shit, I hope if you're fucking still alive and you're listening to this, you're probably laughing. Because you remember when you built the shit, you didn't know what you were doing. I literally had wood, like in dirt. Like they built the wall into dirt. Okay? Now, I wasn't the greatest, I wasn't the smartest in shop class, but I knew that you didn't fucking put a wall into dirt. Oh, my God. I swear to God, do you want a vanilla chocolate chip cookie, ice cream sandwich, or do you want the salt and caramel with snickerdoodles? Okay, and I'm actually getting frustrated because she didn't write me back, and I know the burgers are coming, and then I'm calling her, and she's not picking up because she's watching, Orange is the New Black, basically Clam Oz, for those of you who want to get caught up. I can't watch that fucking show. I can't watch it. They feel like they talk too much and there's not enough just fucking people getting stabbed. I know they're women. I know they're more fucking advanced than us socially. But at the end of the day, it's a bunch of prisoners. They're in there for a reason. I want to see more stabbings and less talk. I watched like fucking probably 3 minutes collectively of Oz. And it was like, that's what I thought prison was. This is fucking horrific. And that show was even toned down. I couldn't watch it. So anyway, she wasn't picking up the phone, and I'm literally getting frustrated. And then I realized just the ridiculousness of the whole thing. So I just sort of sent her a text. I wrote all in caps, hey, get your face out of the computer. A decision needs to be made. Like it was really important which one I'm going to get her. So I went with the fucking classic vanilla and chocolate chip, sort of a metaphor for the two of us. Oh, Jesus, right? And then she calls back. The second you make the order, then your fucking girl's going to call. Actually, I wanted the truffle oil fucking... Maine, whenever the sprinkler comes on, I got a fucking lake out in my front yard, right up next to the foundation. No, that's always good. That's always a good place for a nice fucking... your own private pond every fucking morning. Ooh, yeah, that's not good. That's not good. We need to replace that. Of course you do. Of course you do. Why don't we just knock the whole fucking thing down and we'll start over again? All right? And so I can somehow make money. Like half of this, I'll turn into a fucking Pizza Hut. All right? And I'll try to get some of that fat fuck money to maybe pay for the other half of the house. And then maybe I can buy out the guy who bought the fucking Pizza Hut. Whatever. You know what I mean? You don't know what I mean unless you've fucking been in this situation. If you have been, then my fucking heart goes out to you. Goes out to you. Whatever. All I know, the dream was that this fucking thing was going to be done right before football season. Okay? And I was going to go out and buy a new flat screen TV. Okay? I don't have many dates in the fall. I was actually going to be home. I can enjoy the NFL package as it happens. Right? That was the fucking dream. But, as I say that, there's political prisoners being tortured all around the fucking world. That's when you know your house is fucked up. When you have to think about somebody getting waterboarded to be like, wait, that's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I was thinking about that today when I went out to go get some fucking dinner. I went to go out and pick up a couple of burgers. And, I'm sitting there, texting with the lovely Nia going, if I could do this all over again, I would have been condo guy. No, but then I still would have had to fix it. Yeah, it's a fucking shit show. It really is. It's just an absolute shit show. And so I think it's the final meeting with these guys where now we're finally just going to be like, well, this is the last wall. This is the last part of the downstairs that we've uncovered. So there can't possibly be anything more fucked up. So that's the only thing I feel that's the only light at the end of the tunnel at this point, where it's just like there's nothing left that hasn't been pulled apart that can be fucked up. And now we start all over again. So those of you who've been following this fucking story about my house, you might remember last week that I had that little funny thing where they pulled away the plaster and there was dirt behind the wall held back by a giant plastic tarp. Okay? I mean, there's fucking, I swear to God, there are huts in the third world that are built better than the bottom of my fucking house was. Jesus Christ. Zero effort. All they did, they just fucking nailed shit together. And it stood like tree forts. Tree forts are built better than the fucking downstairs. Jesus fucking Christ. Then I found out they're like, yeah, the dirt's really wet. Yeah, it's because the fucking water